On the 22nd of November 1950, the Fort Wayne Pistons and the Minnesota Lakers were locked in an intense battle. Just 1 point separated the two teams. But the 7,000 fans inside the Minneapolis auditorium started to boo. Even the referee began to implore the players to pick up their effort. The scoreline was close, not because the two sides were well matched in a spirited encounter, but because the Pistons were simply stalling at every opportunity. At the time, there was no limit on how long a team could hold possession before taking a shot, and so Fort Wayne attempted to frustrate the Lakers by passing and dribbling sideways. And it worked. The Pistons won 1918. It was, and still is, the lowest scoring game in NBA history. And something had to be done. Play like that will kill basketball, said Lakers coach Johnny Kundler. Now, whether in the form of large red numbers counting down from 24 above the backboard inside NBA arenas, or the small digital display in the corner of our TV screens, the shot clock is such an established part of the furniture in the modern NBA that it often goes largely unnoticed. But when its use was first written into the league's rulebook in 1954, it likely saved the NBA from extinction. Other teams had begun to copy the stalling tactics that had been so successful for the Pistons. Hanging onto the ball and running down the game clock was a tactical formula that could help an inferior side level the playing field and compete against the best. But as a spectacle, it made for uninspiring viewing. Television audiences plummeted and in-arena attendances dwindled. The league was originally comprised of 18 clubs. Now just 9 were left. Kundler's prophecy was coming true. The NBA was dying a slow death. Now, the lion's share of the credit for the introduction of the shot clock in the NBA rests with one man, Danny Biasone. Biasone was born in Italy in the early 1900s and moved to the United States as a child. He was a successful business owner, first as a restaurateur and then running a popular bowling alley in Syracuse, New York. In 1946, Biasone sent a $5,000 check to the National Basketball League headquarters in Chicago, along with an application to purchase a franchise. And the Syracuse Nationals, who would later become the Philadelphia 76ers, were founded. 3 years later, the NBL was absorbed by the National Basketball Association, and the Syracuse Nationals became an NBA club. Now, the Nationals liked to play with pace. So this trend towards stymieing and stalling was not only harmful to the NBA's business prospects, but to Syracuse's hopes of on-court success too. Biasone sought a solution. In the lounge area of his bowling alley, the Eastwood Sports Center, Biasone met with Leo Ferris, the Nationals' general manager, and Emile Barboni, the team's head scout. On the back of a napkin, Biasone sketched out his fix-all formula. The three determined that a limit needed to be placed on the amount of time that a team was allowed to hold onto the ball before they had to shoot. Biasone claimed that he arrived at the conclusion that 24 seconds was the ideal limit by studying the games he'd most enjoyed watching. These tended to see each team take around 60 shots, he discovered. NBA games last 48 minutes or 2,880 seconds, so dividing that figure by 120 to allow for 60 shooting opportunities for each team, Biasone suggested the perfect shot clock length was 24 seconds. And the Nationals coaching staff introduced a 24-second shot clock into their practice sessions and were delighted with the results. Biasone then began to lobby the league for the clock to be introduced into league play as soon as possible. The shot clock, just as he'd envisaged it, was implemented at the start of the 1954-55 season, and it was an immediate success. The pace of play within the league increased instantly, and team scoring averages shot up by 14 points. Within 3 years, the scoring average was up to 106 points per game, and crucially, attendances had risen by 40% as fans flocked back to arenas to witness this new and exciting brand of basketball. Now, early in the 1954-55 season, the NBA lost another franchise as financial hardship forced the Baltimore Bullets to fold. But the knock-on effects of the shot clock's introduction quickly helped stabilize finances around the league. No NBA team has folded since. In the last season before the shot clock was implemented, the Nationals had reached the NBA Finals only to lose to the Minnesota Lakers. Led by superstar big man George Mikan, the Lakers were able to slow the game to their preferable pace and feed the 6'10" center close to the basket. The Nationals bounced back from that disappointment to reach the finals again the following season. This time they met the Fort Wayne Pistons. At one point during the first half of the decisive Game 7, the Nationals found themselves trailing by 17 points. In previous seasons, the Pistons might have been able to employ their old stalling tactics to eke out the victory, but with the shot clock now on their side, the Nationals fought back to win 92-91, clinching their first ever championship and, fittingly, the first title of the shot clock era. The rest of the basketball world caught on to the benefits of the shot clock too, albeit slowly. FIBA, the International Basketball Federation, first adopted a 30-second shot clock, which was reduced to 24 seconds in 2000. And collegiate basketball introduced a shot clock some 20 years after the NBA first did so, initially setting in at 45 seconds, which has subsequently been reduced to 30 seconds. More than half a century on from its inception, it's difficult to imagine top-level basketball without a shot clock. In today's so-called space and pace era, which sees the likes of Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors combine deadly three-point shooting with fast offensive play, a debt of gratitude is owed to the back-of-a-napkin arithmetic that changed and saved the NBA. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you do enjoy Tifo, you'll probably also like The Athletic. It has the best team of basketball writers in the world in a personalised experience connecting you with the teams that you care about the most, plus direct access to world-class journalists through live Q&As. And you can try it now for free for 30 days.